Yo, what up? Good morning. Hey, so one of the things I wanted to talk about this morning is a difficult topic, but again, necessary. Leaning into negative emotions. So I've been going to therapy consistently for about 5 or 6 months. And my therapist that I'm meeting with is really big on leaning into negative emotions as opposed to running from them, right? I'm really not into that, and I think most of us, messages we hear is like, hey, like, think positive, affirm yourself. If you're feeling depressed, get up, do something that's great, right? And that's kind of how I lived, I play a lot of music. Some of you guys may see me in the car doing a music thing on my Facebook Lives, but I actually have done my best to lean into the negative emotions, the anger, the fear, the negative thoughts, things of that nature, as opposed to playing music and running from it, right? And or trying to do something positive. And there's a lot of power in that. I feel like when we really sit down and think about what is bothering us, right, as opposed to just trying to think positive or exit out of our mind, right, we learn more about ourselves. You know what I mean? We really learn what is going on. You know what I mean? Because many times for me, I know my thoughts and feelings race through my body and mind all the time, and a lot of times I don't really stop to ask myself, like, why am I feeling this, right? But since I've been doing that, I find that a lot of times the things I feel are the things I feel are real and legit, and the way that I'm handling it is not, right? Like right now I'm on a prayer walk and I was just kind of feeling sad, right? Just a little bit. And I'm like, why am I feeling this way, right? So in the past, I think I would have just been like, hey, well, let me just focus on what I'm grateful for, or let me just, do something to get rid of this feeling, right? And so I just kind of sat here and I started thinking, like, what am I feeling, right? And so I was personally feeling like, I have 2 kids. I love them to death. We went out to hang out today, and I was stretching. They were hanging out. It was great, But I feel like, man, I could have done more to connect with them. I have this expectation, like, I need to be connected with them all the time. So I was like, I could have done so much more. And I was just feeling sad because for me, it's difficult to connect with them at times. And I feel disappointed in myself, right? And so I was feeling it, and then I was like, man, let me just stop and really think about why exactly I'm feeling this situation. And it was cool. I thought about it and I leaned into it, and I kind of did this thing where I talk to myself and give myself therapy, right? Like, what would I tell somebody else? And so I was like, hey, like, your kids, if you want to connect with them, just go home and do it. You know what I mean? I have the time and the space to do it, as opposed to in my mind having thoughts of like, I'm a bad parent, I'm not good enough, I'm worthless, right? Things that went through my mind. And so it's easy to think that kind of stuff when I am, like, feeling sad, right? So as opposed to thinking those things, it's like, why don't you just go home and rectify the problem, right? We would go home and do a connection. But it's cool because I didn't beat myself up, right? We can't beat ourselves up for feeling it. It's like, hey, I'm feeling this, and I had to acknowledge, like, this is what I'm feeling. This is real. There's real sadness. There's real hurt, and validating myself and saying, hey, it's okay to feel that. At the same time, what's not okay is to allow my mind to beat myself up, right? That is not the proper response to sadness or depression or anger, right? The proper response is say, hey, to acknowledge yourself first and say, hey, it's okay to feel those things. And the reaction is, okay, what can I do after acknowledging myself, right? Not just straight, we can skip the acknowledgement of our feelings, and especially the negative ones, and we can skip that part and we can go straight to, what do I need to do? But we have to acknowledge how we're feeling and then go and do something about it, right? After we acknowledge, and not just beat ourselves up. So I have so much more to say about this. I'm gonna release another video about my therapist. This dude is a trip. the way that what the stuff he's teaching me is like, it's different. I've seen therapists for a long time, since 2012, and this dude is this dude is a trip. So I'm gonna release a video later. But hey, if you're feeling negative stuff today, weird thoughts, all that kind of stuff, don't run from it. Don't just put on some music. Don't just go talk to somebody immediately. Don't just ignore it. Don't just try to, go work out and do something. Really lean into it. You know what I'm saying? Like, and it's hard. You feel it, and it feels bad. It feels ugly. But the more you lean into it, the more you learn about yourself, right? And obviously, there's times when you need to do that. There's times when it's so intense that it's like you got to take the edge off. But come back to it. Come back to it. Think about it. Dwell about it. Write about it. In a raw form, and you'll be amazed at what you find. Love y'all. Peace.